He was just going for a walk. Dr. Harold Mercer had retired just 8 months earlier after 42 years of service as a beloved pediatrician in Tacoma, Washington. He didn't fish, didn't golf, didn't travel. All he wanted was peace and trees. That's what led him to Mount Rainier National Park. Towering evergreens, cold creeks, trails that reminded him of his childhood in Oregon. So when Harold told his daughter he was heading out for a 3-day solo hiking trip, no phone, no GPS, no one questioned him. He never came back. Before we dive into what happened, where are you watching from? We love seeing how far our stories go. Drop your city or country in the comments, and let's get into it. Harold Mercer was last seen checking in at the Carbon River Ranger Station on a Thursday morning. It was early fall, cool air, clear skies. The park wasn't crowded that week. Just a few RVs and a pair of birdwatchers who remembered seeing a tall, silver-haired man with a red windbreaker and hiking staff heading into the Glacier Basin trail system. The trail wasn't considered dangerous. A moderate climb, shallow creeks, and well-marked paths. But by Sunday evening, when he didn't return and didn't call, his daughter Rachel got nervous. By Monday morning, she called the park. Search and rescue launched within hours. They found his car parked where he'd said it would be, untouched. Inside, his spare jacket, a water bottle, and a leather-bound journal. The journal had only one sentence written for that day. The forest is louder than I remember. That was it. Then he vanished. The search lasted 13 days. Helicopters, dogs, rangers on horseback. Not a single footprint. No torn fabric. No gear left behind. No signs of distress or wildlife attack. It was like the woods had swallowed him whole. The FBI got involved but ruled out foul play. There were no enemies, no health issues, no signs of Harold faking his death. His bank account remained untouched, his house undisturbed. Eventually, the search was suspended. Rachel never stopped. She visited the trailhead every month, posted on forums, handed out flyers to other hikers. People listened, some cared, but the story faded like mist off the trees, until the dam broke. Exactly 4 years to the day of Harold's disappearance, a massive windstorm ripped through Mount Rainier National Park. Trees collapsed, old river paths shifted. A beaver dam, over 20 feet wide and 6 feet deep, partially collapsed after a cedar tree crushed its western edge. Park rangers sent a team to assess potential flooding. That's when they saw it. Among the driftwood, branches, and moss, something caught the sunlight. Not a bone, not clothing. Something unexpected. Metal. It was a stainless steel medical instrument. A reflex hammer, the kind doctors use to test your knee. Old, worn, and engraved. H. Mercer, M.D. At first, they thought it had washed down from a nearby ranger cabin or medical station. But the closest station was 17 miles away, and none of their inventory matched. The serial number had long been erased, but the engraving was clear. That's when they started digging. Beneath the debris of the dam, rangers found more: a rusted camping utensil, a crushed aluminum mess tin, and a faded piece of fabric, red, with signs of weather damage. It matched the jacket Harold was last seen wearing. It was as if someone or something had carefully buried those items in the Beaver Dam. But how? Why? The discovery triggered a new wave of theories. Some believed Harold had fallen into the water, and his items drifted into the dam naturally. Others believed he was attacked, and his belongings ended up there through foul play. But then they found the map. Lodged between tightly packed sticks near the bottom of the dam was a waterproof map sleeve. Inside was a topographic trail map of Mount Rainier. Circled in red ink was a specific, remote zone known as Dead Oak Basin, an unmaintained section of forest known for its steep cliffs and beaver activity. On the margin, in faded handwriting, were the words, "Listen to the knocking." The mystery exploded online. Podcasters, Redditors, and amateur sleuths from the U.S. to the U.K. dissected every clue. Was it a survival message? A trail marker? A hallucination? The search resumed, but this time, focused. A specialized team including hydrologists, forensic biologists, and environmental psychologists was brought in. What they uncovered near Dead Oak Basin led them deeper into the most bizarre theory yet. Beavers had unknowingly preserved the final traces of Harold's journey. When Harold's map was pulled from the dam, the red circle around Dead Oak Basin was more than a trail note. It was a breadcrumb from beyond. Search teams moved into the area within days. The terrain was rugged, barely accessible. Trails had long eroded. Thick layers of moss and down logs covered nearly everything. It wasn't a place you accidentally wandered into. You either meant to go there, or you were running from something. The deeper they hiked, the stranger it got. They found a cluster of sticks arranged deliberately against a granite outcrop, like makeshift signposts. One ranger, a survival expert, described it as primitive wayfinding markers someone might make if they were trying to navigate or be found. Not far from there, half buried under wet earth and leaves, they discovered a pair of hiking boots, one upright, one on its side. Inside the right boot, a strip of leather with faded ink initials, HM. And then came the most puzzling find yet. About 80 feet beyond the boots, tucked behind a fallen tree and wrapped in layers of fern and fabric, was a sealed Ziploc bag. Inside were pages from Harold's journal, torn from the original. They weren't just entries. They were messages. Day 6, still no cell service. I slipped trying to cross the stream. Twisted ankle. Heard knocking again last night. It's not the wind. Day 13, built shelter under the ridge. Coyotes nearby. Food almost gone. I follow the sound today. It's rhythmic, deliberate. Still not sure if it's animal or something else. Day 21, I watch them. The beavers. They're incredible, working together like surgeons. I left my gear near their dam, hoping someone would find it. If you're reading this, I'm alive. For now. The handwriting grew shakier with each entry. Some words were smudged with water damage. Others were pressed harder into the paper, as if Harold had been losing strength. The team followed the map trail and beaver activity, now realizing Harold hadn't just disappeared. He'd been documenting everything he could, trying to create a trail out through the animals themselves. About 200 yards upstream from the damaged dam, they found it, a hand-built shelter, partially collapsed but unmistakably man-made. Logs lashed together with old bootlaces, moss used as insulation. Inside was a broken glasses frame, a burned-out flashlight, and a spoon with notches carved into the handle. 38 of them. 38 days. That's how long Harold had survived in the wilderness, alone, injured, but sharp enough to plan. And then the final piece. Just beyond the shelter, beneath a tall cedar split by lightning, the rescue team found shallow earth disturbed beneath a ring of stones. Inside, wrapped in cloth, were bones. Human. Forensic analysis confirmed it. It was Dr. Harold Mercer. He hadn't been dragged by an animal or swept away in a river. He'd passed in his sleep, curled beside the final entry in his notebook, which read, I hear the knocking again. I'm not afraid of it anymore. If this is the end, let it be among trees. The discovery stunned the Mercer family and the wider world. But what truly gripped everyone wasn't just that he died. It was how he died. Harold hadn't wandered off recklessly. He wasn't lost. He was deliberate, sharp, and above all, calm. His journal showed a man fully aware of his deteriorating situation, and yet still focused on leaving behind signs. He hadn't screamed for help. He didn't panic. He trusted nature to carry his message. And the most bizarre part? It did. Beavers are naturally drawn to shiny or reflective objects. Rangers believe that when Harold left the supplies near the riverbanks, the animals instinctively used them in their dam construction. They didn't know they were preserving a trail, but they did. Every item they wove into their shelter became part of a trail of clues, one that nature protected for 4 years. Rachel Mercer, now a nurse herself, told reporters, My dad was always quiet, always believed in small things having big purposes. I guess it makes sense that even a beaver dam would help him speak one last time. The story went viral across North America, the UK, and Australia. It inspired search and rescue units to rethink missing hiker strategies. National parks posted signs encouraging solo hikers to carry visible, reflective items. Survivalists began including mirrored objects in kits, not just to signal humans, but because of this case, podcasts and documentaries followed. Not just because it was strange, but because it was human. This wasn't a story about a man lost. It was about a man who stayed calm, stayed thoughtful, and left behind a message in the most unexpected way imaginable. He trusted nature, and nature carried him home. If this story moved you, share it with someone who loves hiking, nature, or real-life mysteries. Drop a comment below where you're watching from. We love seeing how far these stories travel. And don't forget to subscribe for more powerful, emotional true stories just like this one. Because sometimes the answers we're looking for are hidden in the most unexpected places.